Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for fantasy Premier League content for the 2021-22 season. My name is Dan and today we are doing a Game Week 15 team selection video where we have a look at my Game Week 14 scores and then we'll go through and set up my team, potentially make some transfers and set our captain of course as well for Game Week 15 and just see how we can set up our team for this coming Game Week. The Game Weeks are coming thick and fast. I'm absolutely loving it. Videos on top of videos at the moment. Sorry guys if it's all a little bit too congested, but hopefully you can catch up. We have got a few other videos on the channel at the moment, buy, sell, keep, avoid, and the 100 experts videos I uploaded yesterday, so do go check them out. But aside from that, guys, if you do enjoy today's video, please do like and please do subscribe as well. So yeah, without further ado, guys, I think we go straight in and have a look at my scores from last game week. So, Game Week 14, the midweek game was a kind of a tough one. Obviously, a red arrow for me, and not a great score. I mean, not a terrible score. You know, certainly nothing season-ending, but you know, a minor setback for sure. So I wasn't happy at all. I don't fully know how to feel really, because obviously the big at the back kind of tactic has not worked for the last couple of game weeks, but I feel like it should be working, or it should work at some point. I don't know. Trent, Cancelo, Alonso, Reece James, I know he didn't play, but these feel like good players that you really do want. So although they haven't really paid off in the last couple of game weeks, surely it's only a matter of time before this is going to come back, and maybe this is just an anomaly couple of weeks. Maybe this is a permanent thing. I don't know. Again, up front in my forward positions, Kane really in that game. He had a really good chance to score and he didn't score it. Antonio, tragic. Had a goal disallowed, which kind of rolled off his shin. He was in an offside position. VAR disallowed the goal. Not that he tried to score it or anything like that. It was going to be a lucky goal anyway, but then it was unlucky that he didn't get the lucky goal, and it was just kind of like, oh my god. Then he got the yellow card as well. Even Broja, he didn't start the game, but he came on in the second half against Leicester, and he played really. We played okay, played pretty decently. He had a really good chance to score, but he kind of overcomplicated it a little bit and didn't take the shot. And he really could have scored there, but he didn't. So there we go. What I am feeling a little bit more positive about, though, guys, is the fact that my transfers seem to be working, and all I can do really is make the right transfers. That's all I can do. Like, you can talk about having a bad team in general, and maybe the rest of my team is not up to scratch. Kane, Antonio, Broja, and Bumo. I don't know, maybe Alonso, but aside from that, 3 out of my last 4 transfers have been Lamptey, Jota and Maddison, and those players have been doing really well, so I am really glad I brought those players in. So I feel like I'm still doing the right transfer moves, but I wonder if the rest of my team is kind of drifting a little bit away from the meta, away from the template, and for that reason I might find myself getting a couple of red arrows, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Really, I need the big at the back tactic to start working, and if it doesn't start working, then we're going to potentially have some problems on our hands, aren't we? But for now, it's not the worst scenario in the world. I'm still ranked 315th in the world. That's still an insane position to be in, and I'm very grateful. But I'm not going to sit here and say, I've just got unlucky. I am thinking about this. I am trying to work out where we go from here and whether I do need to kind of rethink some of my strategies, whether I do need to give up on some of my players, how I can restructure my players, how I can kind of remove some of the dead weight and bring in some really nice players, as I have been doing, because like I say, my transfers have been good, but the rest of my team, I don't have unlimited transfers. Perhaps if I had unlimited transfers, I could, you'd hope that you can make a really good team, but I don't, and none of us do. So I guess let's see what we can do with what we got. So for Game Week 15, we've got 1.8 million in the bank, so a nice little bank balance there, and one free transfer to use. So let's just go through, set our team up, and then we'll talk about some transfers and some captains at the end of that. So let's start off in goal with Ramsdale. Ramsdale making a load of saves again in Game Week 14. Loads of saves against Manchester United. This happens every game. We kind of know by now. Ramsdale's just a save machine, really, isn't he? He makes so many. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe he shouldn't have to make as many saves as he does, but he does. And he picks up those save points. So hopefully if you can keep making saves and keep some clean sheets against maybe some of these slightly easier teams. I mean, Everton, they've been very poor in terms of their attacking stats recently, so we hope that's good. A few good games after that. Southampton, West Ham, we're not sure what's going to go on there. Leeds have kind of been struggling in front of goal as well. So maybe some points are on the horizon for Ramsdale. I kind of hope so. But this Everton game seems like a reasonably good fixture. We expect Everton, they will take shots, but will they be clinical? Probably not. So maybe a nice score for Ramsdale. I'm really hoping for it anyway. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold there as well. He's up to 8 million now, so he's an 8 million defender. Absolute madness there. Really nice fixture against Wolves. I like this fixture against Wolves, not really from an attacking point of view, but if we're looking for clean sheets, Wolves are seriously struggling at 4 goals right now. They've only scored 1 goal in their previous 4 games. They've kind of not scored goals against teams like Burnley and Crystal Palace. They didn't score any goals against. They didn't score any goals against Norwich. Can't forget that one. So yeah, you would really, I know we kind of said this last week, but you kind of really hope that Trent Alexander-Arnold can get a clean sheet here. And then after that, he's always good for, a lot of creativity there in the team as well. So maybe we're going to get back to our 10-point plus returns for Trent. I would really like that. I feel like this is a good week to do it in. We've got Cancelo next, who is my only Man City player at the moment, and it's a game against Watford. Now, I'm really hoping that Cancelo does play against Watford and then is rested for the dead rubber midweek Champions League game. That's kind of what I'm really hoping / predicting, because this Watford game is incredible. We do want to we want to have a Man City player for this game, don't we? But who's going to start? It seems like most of Man City's players are back, fit and available. Obviously, with the exception of Torres, they've got pretty much a full roster to play with now. Maybe some of these players are going to be eased back into the team rather than thrown back into the starting 11. But Cancelo, I really just hope that he is going to be one of those players who just plays every game. He's got the most minutes of any Man City player so far this season in the Premier League, so it makes sense that he will keep playing and playing and playing. He has the fitness to be able to do that. So yeah, a game against Watford, I'm really hoping for clean sheets. Please bring me back the Cancelo clean sheets and attacking returns as well, because Cancelo is just such a great attacking player. We've got Reece James next, who is back. We had a bit of a ghost injury last game week, didn't he, guys? It was a weird situation. He was flagged as injured, but then it turns out, was he actually injured, or was it actually that he was just rested? We don't really know. What we do know is he is now fully available for this weekend's game, and since he was rested midweek, we do fully expect him to start. He has played a lot of football, to be fair, so maybe that was just a situation where James has just played so much football, it was about time that he did get a little rest in a game, and hopefully that means that he's going to be good to start the next several games. Reece James, when he plays, we know, absolutely fantastic, absolutely amazing, super attacking, a great finisher, a really good creative player, essentially plays as a midfielder and loves to get in the box as well. So much to love about Reece James. So I'm really we just want the Reece James back that we all bought into a few weeks ago, right? Some of you guys would have bought Reece James and not had him for, he wasn't available for the midweek game. You may have just bought him for that, or maybe you bought him the week before and you got a blank there and then didn't play him midweek. Nightmare, guys, nightmare. But hopefully we're going to have him back to his best this week. Tough game at West Ham away, but I don't know how it's going to play out. We do have a lot of faith in Chelsea, though, obviously, don't we? Because they have been, one of the, if not the best defence in the league this season. And then we've got Alonso to double up on the Chelsea defence. I do still feel like Alonso is going to play in this game. I don't see why. I don't see why he wouldn't. I imagine that maybe in the Champions League, that's when Alonso gets rested. We know he's not going to play every single game, but this one I'm kind of hoping that he will play in. A lot of people kind of criticised Alonso, saying he had a bad game at midweek. I don't know if that's strictly true, to be honest. I didn't think he played too badly. He got 2 second assists. He was important in the creative play, in the forward play. Maybe he's not fantastic defensively, but what do we expect? That's the usual stuff, right, guys? So yeah, I don't know. I just feel like maybe people give Alonso a hard time. I think he's used as a scapegoat a lot of the time, but by Chelsea fans particularly. So you see a lot of hate from him online. But at the end of the day, it's not about what the fans think. It's about what the managers think, right? And I think the comments that Tuchel's made, he shows a little bit of faith in Alonso there. So yeah, he's the only fit left wing back at the squad. Let him continue to do that. And finally, we're going to finish off Lamptey. We're going to go back to 5 at the back this game week, guys, just because I just like all of my defenders that I've got. I brought them all in for a very good reason. So we're going to finish off Lamptey here, who has been an absolute star. 3 returns in a row. Really, really good. Even though he didn't even start in the midweek game, he still came on off the bench and got an assist. And that was just, absolute scenes. Absolute scenes. He's a hero. He's a legend. He's an absolute creative machine. And once he starts, when he starts games, and he is going to, we know that he's a little bit fragile, right? He can't play 90 minutes every single game twice a week, right? But he's got this game against Southampton. He's rested midweek. He's probably going to start this. You're 99% sure he's going to start this game. It's a good fixture. You will back Brighton to be potentially keeping clean sheets here, and you back Lamptey to be playing in an advanced position, hopefully on the right wing again, and maybe, just maybe, getting a goal, more likely to get an assist. Always exciting to watch. So really happy with that. It's a 5-man defence again, which hasn't worked, too very, very recently, but I still love it. And I think the last 2 weeks maybe have been anomalies, and I just feel like it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back. Let's see, to be honest. But for now, let's see how it goes, I guess. But anyway, let's move on into midfield. We've got Salah. I'm not going to say too much about Salah. Insane performance again. 2 goals against Everton. I don't think anyone's too surprised when the Salah absolutely bangs. He's just, he's everything. He's FPL right now. He is FPL. Like, if you don't have Salah, you need to go get your head checked. Honestly, he's FPL. He is FPL. I think I made my point. We've got Jota next. He's also against Wolves away. Now, like I said a little bit earlier, I don't think this Wolves away fixture is an incredible fixture by any stretch of the imagination. Wolves have kind of tightened up defensively a little bit. But what I will say, and this is in regards to Salah and Jota, for those of you maybe not thinking about, benching them or something, or transferring them out, or I don't know what you guys are thinking, but maybe you're thinking about not captaining a Liverpool player just because you think this is a tricky fixture. What I will say is that although Wolves have been quite good defensively in recent games, they have had incredibly easy fixtures. Like I said, Norwich, Burnley, Crystal Palace, these are the kind of teams that they've been keeping clean sheets against. So it's kind of like, okay, it's okay. I don't think they even kept clean sheets in all of those games. But my point stands that it's okay. You hope that a team will keep a clean sheet against these teams. And also, even if Wolves are a good defence, and I do think they're a decent defence, don't get me wrong, I don't think they're a top tier defence, but I think they're a very decent defence. Even if they are a decent defence, remember, Salah hauled against Man City, so he can do it against anyone. Jota in that team, it's going to be the same situation with him as well. And we're going to finish off the midfield with Maddison, a player who I'm actually really, really pleased about. I said about potentially getting him last week. I ended up going for it, in part because no other content creators were hyping up Maddison at all, and it annoyed me. It was like, am I the only person seeing the emergence of a really nice streak from Maddison here? Surely he's going to go on a really nice streak here. He's a streaky player. He's played well in the Premier League. He's played well in the Europa League in recent times. There's not too much other creative players that you can kind of play in his position in the Leicester team. The Leicester team kind of seem like they've got the right setup now. They're winning games. Surely this is Maddison's time to shine on all set pieces as well, of course. And it really paid off. And I think I kind of really wanted to put my money where my mouth was with Maddison, really, and that's exactly what I ended up doing. And it paid off immediately, 10-pointer. Aston Villa is a tougher game. Don't get me wrong, it's a tougher game. I'm more looking forward to the Newcastle game in Gameweek 16. But Maddison is a great player, and it's only going to take a corner or a free kick or something else, or a Jamie Vardy magic moment, or a good link up with Daka. I do think Daka is potentially going to start as well, and Maddison's been linking up really well with Daka in the Europa League. So I like it. I like it a lot, and not the perfect fixture, but always back in a player who is in this really nice vein of form. They always keep going with it. The streaky players, they can keep doing it. It doesn't really matter what the fixture is. And then up front, we've got Harry Kane, the perpetual disappointment. 5 blanks in a row. Guys, don't even ask. I don't want to talk about it, to be honest, but it's the game against Norwich, and we're kind of in a situation here, and you guys who own Kane as well are going to be in the same situation. Kane against Norwich, is that good enough? Is he good enough? Is he finished? Is he gonna finally do something in this game? And there's kind of 2 ways of looking at it. Now, the positive way is that, let's start with the negative way, and then we'll move on to the positive, because I like to finish off with a positive. So the negative thing is he's blanking over and over again. He's clearly needs a goal to get that confidence, and until he gets that goal, he's perhaps not going to have that top tier level of confidence. We know that the supply, the creative supply to Kane is not good, which often means that Kane has to drop down pretty deep and do the creating himself. But if you're doing the creating yourself, you are then not up the pitch to finish off the goals, and you end up with second assist, which is exactly what we saw in game week 14. Kane getting second assist, no good whatsoever for fantasy football whatsoever. We've also got the fact that Norwich have seemingly improved a little bit defensively under Dean Smith. This is not the Daniel Farker whipping boy Norwich that we saw earlier on in the season. I don't want people to get it twisted and think that Norwich are an absolute, you absolutely must target Norwich every single game week. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's a lot of teams that I would rather target than Norwich. Newcastle would be top of my list. I'd much rather target Newcastle, Watford perhaps as well. These are teams I would rather target with my players than Norwich. So Norwich, I know they're not a great football side, right? Don't get me wrong, but they're not the worst of the worst, if that makes sense, in terms of when we're identifying the whipping boys, which is really important in FPL. So that's the bad side. The good side is that Kane's underlying stats since Conte has come in have improved dramatically. He's got a pretty high XG, a pretty high expected assists. He's actually getting a couple of chances. He is making the right moves on the pitch. Even if he is dropping deeper, when he is further up the pitch, the movement is good. He wants the ball. He's constantly calling for it, and he desperately wants a goal, and that is encouraging. In a way, it's encouraging. It's a sign of perhaps things are gonna finally go his way, maybe, possibly, I don't know. And we also have the fact that a team like Norwich is not going to be as open as a team like Brentford. So it's going to mean the runs in behind and stuff like that, it's not really as likely. I don't think that Norwich is going to be a team that leaves these big gaps and allows for Son runs in behind, Reguilon and Emerson making these bombing runs on the outside, Lucas as well. And I think if a team is sitting back, which I do think that Norwich will do, maybe that's going to leave an opportunity for a player like Kane with the finishing ability that he has to score these, kind of create for yourself, the little poachers efforts, little opportunities where he's shooting from outside the box. I think in a sense, I think the Norwich game is a little bit more set up for a Kane style player than it is for a Son style player. Now, I mean, the proof will be in the pudding. Son is in better form at the end of the day, so maybe that discounts that. I don't know, but I just wanted to take a few minutes in this video to talk about Kane in a little bit of detail, because I know a lot of you guys in the comments have been asking me about my opinions on Kane, where we're at with Kane. I think you can afford to give him one more week, but there is a potential transfer that I want to talk about in a second. Let's finish off with Antonio. I'm not going to talk about this on too much because, like I said, I've spoken a lot about Kane, so I don't want this video to drag on and on. Antonio, home game against Chelsea. I'm not going to transfer out Antonio now because after this game, the fixtures are good. Chelsea have leaked a little bit over the last couple of games. It's a derby game, so there is a possibility that West Ham do well and maybe gets a penalty or whatever, and I wanna be in it to win it. So I've not really gotten enough on my bench to justify benching Antonio, really, so he stays. On the bench, let's have a look at that. Foster, Broja home against Brighton, and Mbeumo away against Leeds. Mbeumo can stay firmly on the bench, and so can Brownhill. The perpetual blankers, bunch of dirty blankers, they can stay on the bench. Maybe some of my starting 11 are dirty blankers as well, to be fair, but there we go. But yeah, there we go, guys. That's the way my team is set up right at this second. It's not 100% locked in or anything like that. The potential transfer that I am thinking of doing, as one potential transfer is to go for Broja and take him to Dennis 1 week early and just leave Dennis on the bench. So I could do that 1 week early, maybe go for Josh King, do that 1 week early. I don't really like doing transfers 1 week early unless I have to, so I'm probably not going to do that. But the other option is to go from Kane to Ronaldo. Now, there's conflicting reports. Is Ronaldo, did he have tight hamstrings after the game? The new manager at Manchester United, Rangnick, he's suggesting that Ronaldo is going to be a huge part of this Manchester United team. He's not going to be dropped, and he's going to be, a crucial player and playing at every opportunity. Is Ronaldo going to play this weekend against Crystal Palace? Very good chance of that happening. Crystal Palace are lacking MacArthur at the moment, their defensive midfielder. They're lacking, who else? Their centre-back, Anderson, as well. These are going to create opportunities for Ronaldo. And in general, the current Norwich team versus the current Crystal Palace team, I'm not actually sure what is the worst defence out of the two. I'm not sure. So, although Kane is probably more guaranteed 90 minutes, Ronaldo is arguably a better option than Kane this week, and in which case, especially if we're planning on getting Ronaldo in anyway in the near future, maybe Kane to Ronaldo right now is the right move, and to do that 1 week early, Ronaldo due a price rise tonight as well, which is going to maybe force my hand a little bit. Maybe we do that. Maybe we go for Kane to Ronaldo. I would say the chances of me doing Kane to Ronaldo right now is probably like 60% I keep Kane, 40% I go to Ronaldo. If you asked me this morning, I would have told you a very different thing. So my mind is all over the place. I need to be sure before I make any transfer moves. Part of me just wants to be patient and give myself 2 free transfers to use next game week where there's a lot of fixture swings. But I don't know. Part of me also wants to see Kane for 1 more game week under Conte. You know, I haven't given him really enough time under Conte, really. Yes, fair enough, I've given him a lot of time in my team in general, but under Conte I haven't, and he is looking a little bit better under Conte. So, decisions to be made, guys. This is why we love and hate FPL all at the same time. So who knows what we're going to end up with. I suppose you guys will have to wait until my deadline stream tomorrow morning to find out exactly what I end up doing. But there we go, guys. Let's do some captain. So no surprise, guys. Salah captain again. I'm not messing about with this one, and I'm probably not going to ever stop captaining Salah until he goes off to AFCON. If I'm completely honest with you guys, I'm just going to keep captain Salah. It works, right? You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We'll put the vice captain on Kane for now, although I am considering moving it maybe to like a Cancelo potentially there. But, you know, I suppose if I'm going to keep Kane, I've got to do it. I'm doing it because I have confidence in him, and therefore a good vice captain. You know, same with Ronaldo. So whoever ends up there, Kane or Ronaldo, they're going to be the one with the vice captain's armband, I suppose. And there we go, guys. That is the team. What do you think? Am I doing all right? I mean, the worst case scenario, I have 2 transfers next week to fix some of these problems. You know, Broja and Bumo, they can be removed from the team, and then we've got some options to bring in instead of like Antonio. I've got targets. I know what players I want. I'm just not sure this moment is the right moment to get them. I'm waiting for fixture swings before I pull the trigger on a lot of the things I want to do. So, yeah, I guess until the fixture swing happens next week, kind of in a way, kind of stuck with the team that I've got. Not that I dislike the team, but it's not everything that I dream of, right? There we go. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the video, it massively helps out the channel. And of course, subscribe if you're new around here as well. Deadline stream tomorrow. Like I said earlier in the video, we've got a couple more videos on the channel. If you want to go check them out, a bit more FPL info, transfer advice and stuff like that. The buy, sell, keep, avoid video and the 100 experts video for game week 15 are on the channel. Do go check them out. I made sure I made both of them for you guys. Yesterday was a busy day, let me tell you that. But there we go, guys. That is just about it. So once again, I'll say thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully see you guys tomorrow for the stream. But for now, I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.